I'm Brian Fowler, president of Blind Creek Resources Limited, listed on the TSX Venture Exchange, ticker symbol BCK. Blind Creek is focused in the Yukon, Northwest Territories, and British Columbia. The company's key property is the Blend Project, one of the largest undeveloped lead-zinc-silver deposits in Western Canada, plus plans to advance the recently acquired, fully permitted historic Engineer gold mine in the Atlan District of Northwestern BC. Check us out at blindcreekresources.com.
Welcome to the Goddard Report. Comments made on the Goddard Report and TalkDigitalNetwork.com are an expression of opinion only. Here is Jim Goddard.
My guest is Sharon Noble, Director of the BC Coalition to Stop Smart Meters. Welcome back to the show, Sharon.
Thank you very much, Jim.
Sharon, do you have a concern that smart meters are not just spying on us, but the information is being sold to second and third parties?
Well, many people have hypothesized that this is going to happen. We've been suspicious because we know that the data that the smart meter is capable of gathering is much more detailed than is needed for billing purposes. But we really only had anecdotal evidence. You know, in California where we knew it was sold to an insurance company and the person lost his insurance because of his pre-existing condition. It's a long story, but we knew from various stories that this was happening. But about 2 weeks ago, I came upon an Itron brochure, which everyone should read. And if people read it, they will realize that we are in trouble. Itron says in their brochure that it was always their intention to use these smart meters for other reasons than to measure consumption. In fact, their quote is, "This type of self-directed device has always been central to the vision of a smart distribution network." They describe this network as one where other companies, as they say, multiple communication media outlets and corporations can install chips, transmitters that is, in our smart meter, and these will distribute data about us, about our usage, about their businesses, using our smart meters and using our smart grid. The brochure is very, very well defined. It's on our website, and if you go in and Google or search for active grid, you'll find the brochure there and people can read it. But it is extremely detailed about the fact that from day one, this was the intention behind Itron smart meters. And they are going to be using our homes and our meters as commercial centers. They will be selling our smart meters and access to our electricity grid to other corporations and over which we will have no control. They're calling them edge devices that will connect to the Internet of Things. And they will be part of this major communications plan where everyone is hooked up to everything. Our fridge will be hooked up to radio stations. Our washing machines will be hooked up to insurance companies. Everything is going to be interconnected. And first of all, this is a severe and illegal breach of our privacy. But I believe as well, this is illegal from even Hydro's point of view. The Clean Energy Act and the tariff, the electric tariff, are the two laws that govern Hydro. The Clean Energy Act is the one that said we all must have smart meters on our homes to measure electricity more efficiently. The tariff, the electric tariff, says how Hydro is to do these things. It lays out the rates and everything else. It's written by Hydro, but it's there to let us know what they are supposed to do. Nowhere in either of these legal documents does it say that these meters can be used for anything except for measuring and transmitting our consumption data. I have written to the auditor, the Attorney General, and charged that these devices are illegal and must be removed from our homes. And the reason I say this is because first, We can't trust Hydro to make sure that they protect us. They've never done it before. They've never told us the truth about any of the aspects of these meters. So there's no reason to believe that, for instance, those chips might be in the Itron meters already. This might already be happening, and we have no way of knowing it. So the only thing that can be done is that these meters should be removed from our homes. And I firmly believe that we should be demanding it immediately because these are illegal under both the Clean Energy Act and the electric tariff.
Has the Attorney General got back to you yet?
I wrote on the 22nd of September, and I got an acknowledgement about 2 days later. I don't know if it was a form letter. It probably was, but he said that he had my letter and was going to be investigating it and would be getting back to me. Now I have every intention of giving him a few more days and getting back next week and asking what's being done. I wrote to the BC Utilities Commission and had no response whatsoever. I wrote to Horgan and had absolutely no response. And I wrote to Energy Minister Mungle, and I had no response. But this is not unusual. These people aren't responding to anything.
We'll have more with Sharon Noble right after this.
Hi, I'm Douglas Mason, President and CEO of Magnum Gold Corp, MGI and the TSX Venture Exchange. A 2015 drill program on the LH property intersected several high-grade gold intersections, including 11 meters of 20.66 grams per ton gold. Additional drill targets on the LH property have been identified by a 2018 drone airborne magnetic survey to further evaluate a pyrrhotite-enriched gold-bearing system. Please visit our website at magnumgoldcorp.com.
MGX Minerals is revolutionizing the new energy economy with patented lithium extraction technology, replacing traditional solar evaporation using low-cost, low-energy nanofiltration. The first system of this paradigm shift technology is currently being commissioned. MGX Minerals trades on the CSE, symbol XMG, the OTCQB, symbol MGXMF, and Frankfurt, symbol 1MG. For more information, visit our website, mgxminerals.com.
Welcome back. We're speaking with Sharon Noble. Sharon, are we still getting reports of smart meters causing fires or causing appliances to fail?
Yes, we are. I'm not following it all that closely anymore because I've made my fire report. I proved that there are fires happening. But I heard the other day, and I had it in my update, someone reported that they had a 4-month-old refrigerator, and there was a power outage. And the refrigerator blew up. When she went to the appliance dealer and the electrician said, yeah, you should have had a surge protector. With the smart meters, you really should have a surge protector either on your home, generally, or on all of your appliances. I would highly recommend, in fact, I have given people a lot of information about this already, but I would highly recommend that people investigate getting not just surge protectors that go on your electrical cords in your home. Many of us have those already for our computers and televisions, but rather get one on your circuit box. This is a good investment, I think. I checked with someone who has one, and I was told that they got one for about $150 at Home Depot or Lowe's. And then they had an electrician install it. And it's really a good investment because if there's a power outage, the smart meter has absolutely no surge protection in it. And this is one of the things that is causing fires. It goes right through the home, and many appliances can burn out. This won't stop, the smart meter from overheating and doing damage on the outside of your home. But if there's just an outage, it will protect many of your home appliances and electronics from being ruined.
Reader's Digest has talked about the health hazards of cell phones or cellular antenna radiation. How good was the article, and should it have gone farther?
It could have gone a lot further. It gave people a lot of ideas. It didn't really mention health much. There were articles saying, about the addictive aspect and the fact that people are spending too much time and not socializing with their families and things like this. all of which is true. But they didn't really address the health issue. I welcome any article that alerts people to the fact that there are problems with these devices, whether it's the addictive behavior or the whatever. But I do wish that people would become more aware of the health issues, which are becoming more and more of an issue as the scientists are warning us. I mean, every few months we see another directive or another warning, another paper, another appeal by scientists and researchers to the UN, to ICNIRP, to the World Health Organization, showing that we have so many studies now. It's not a matter of doing more studies. It's not a matter of wondering if there are health effects. We know there are health effects. We know there are serious health effects. And the sad thing is that the agencies like ICNIRP, which is the International Agency for, I can never remember, protection of against cancer, or non-ionizing radiation protection, this agency is filled with industry people. They're filled with military people. They're filled with people who do not have our health on their minds. What they have is the status quo, so that industry and the military are allowed to carry on their businesses. And this is the agency, ICNIRP is the agency that defines the guidelines that so many of the other agencies, like the World Health Organization and Health Canada, use. And right now, many of the leading scientists are commenting on ICNIRP's new draft guideline proposals, saying it's just a waste of time. It's a charade. They have used false information. They have cherry-picked studies. They have used no studies that have shown health effects over the last 5 or 6 years. Apparently, now I didn't read the entire draft, but someone from the Citizens for Safe Technology, which is a very excellent organization here in Canada, just released their comments. Marg Friesen from Winnipeg wrote an amazing submission, and in it she identified more than 400 studies that they ignored since 2015. They just ignored so many of the studies that have been done by excellent independent experts and with peer-reviewed studies. And they've, for instance, the NTP, the $25 million one from the U.S., they downplay. The huge one, the 10-year one from Ramazzini in Italy, they downplayed or ignored. This can't happen. This shouldn't be happening, and ICNIRP should be done away with. This is the conclusion that many of the people, the experts who are writing their comments, ICNIRP should not be allowed to set the guidelines that agencies like the World Health Organization and Health Canada follow, because that leaves the public totally unprotected. That is the way, that is the reason so many of the wireless devices that are on the market, like cell phones, are being sold without any warnings. Why they are allowed to be emitting radiation levels that we know will lead to brain cancers in many people and are affecting sterility and causing men to suffer depletion of their sperm. Things like this are directly tied to the cell phone, yet ICNIRP isn't paying any attention to it. We know that living near cell towers leads to many problems, like increased behavior problems with children. We know that Wi-Fi in school is related to attention deficit disorder. We know that there are all sorts of these different problems, and agencies like ICNIRP are allowing this to happen. It's a very unfortunate thing, and if people are interested in reading a very interesting document that goes to explain not only the health issue, but the environmental issue, I would highly recommend they Google Wireless Silent Spring. It's a document that was just written, and it's very easy reading, and it's not very long. It was written by a doctor at the Santa Clara Medical Association in California, And she has been extremely concerned about the health effects and the environmental effects of this proliferation of microwave radiation throughout and it's on an uncontrolled and unabated basis. She is comparing in this article the silent spring due to the wireless devices with the silent spring that Rachel Carson wrote about decades ago when she was writing and warning people about pesticides and herbicides that were getting into our water and killing our birds and harming all of our wildlife. The same thing is happening with wireless radiation. Bees are being killed. Our pollinators are being killed. They're unable to find their way back to their hives because they can't navigate. Birds are not able to navigate. Migrations are difficult. They can't travel. She goes on and on, outlining very clearly what is happening in our environment and to our children. This is something that everyone needs to read about, and we all need to do our bit. Whether it's refusing to have a cell phone or disabling all of your Wi-Fi material, all of your Wi-Fi devices in your home, going hardwired. And as she said, and as we've spoken about many times, Jim, fiber optic cable is the answer. Fiber optic cable can carry data so much more quickly. It's so much more efficient. It doesn't irradiate. It can't be as easily hacked. And in the long run, it's much, much cheaper because it's permanent and it's technology that doesn't have to constantly be upgraded. Wi-Fi modems and cell towers and cell phones, these things are constantly causing problems. Fiber optic cable is the answer. And now we've got the opportunity. TELUS, because of their 5G technology, which they hope to install across our province, should not happen. But TELUS is putting fiber optic cables along the street to support this new 5G technology. We should encourage TELUS to bring this fiber optic cable into everyone's home. We should be using fiber optic cables instead of all of our wireless devices. And we could be helping ourselves and our environment so much. Please read The Wireless Silent Spring. It's really an excellent article.
We'll have more with Sharon Noble right after the break.
I'm Kelly Jennings, CEO of Powerband Solutions. Powerband is a cloud-based provider of auction, inventory, and finance solutions that make buying, selling, and financing vehicles more efficient. Powerband Solutions trades on the TSX Venture Exchange symbol PBX and on the OTCQB symbol PWWPF and on Frankfurt symbol 1ZV. For more information, please visit us at powerbandsolutions.com.
Don't miss out. Stay informed. Receive the HowStreet.com weekly recap with thought-provoking podcasts, radio, and articles delivered to your inbox. Sign up for the HowStreet.com weekly recap on our homepage at HowStreet.com.
Welcome back. We're speaking with Sharon Noble. Sharon, if a person wanted to have an analog meter put on a house that they're moving into and they don't want a smart meter, what kind of rigmarole do they have to go through? What kind of hoops do they have to jump through?
They can't. There are no hoops. Until we change the Clean Energy Act, we have no choice. The Clean Energy Act mandates that every home have a smart meter. This is something that many people don't realize. This choice was taken away from us in 2010. That's why our coalition came into being. Because we say we demand to have a choice. We don't want to have a smart meter. And in 2013, after all of our protests, we went before every community municipal council. And the vast majority, I think the final number was 70 out of 85 municipal councils, asked for a moratorium on smart meters until they could be determined to be safe and to protect our privacy. And then we went to the Union of BC Municipalities Convention, and it was passed there, the same request for a moratorium. But Clark at the time and Rich Coleman, who was the energy minister at the time, said, forget it. We don't care what you want. You're going to get a smart meter. And Coleman said, you've got three choices. One, you either accept a smart meter, or two, you go without electricity, you go off the grid, or three, you leave the province. In September of 2013, as a result of all of our protests, we were given, those of us who still had our analogs, who had not lost them through intimidation, through lies, or just coming up and bullying people at home, those of us who still had analogs were given the option of paying $32.40 a month. That's a month, not through to billing period. That's a month. And we could keep our analogs until they either expired, or we moved, or they broke. And the people who had fought but weren't able to keep their analogs were not given that option. So we lost, many people were angry that they were not given this option. There are still approximately 12,000 of us who still have our analogs, and we're still fighting. But hydro is threatening people with loss of power if they do not succumb. People who are building a new home right now, if they currently have an analog, they can get a smart meter with the transmitter turned off. But that's their only option. Only those people who still have analogs, when hydro comes and bullies them, insists or threatens to turn their power off, and they are forced to take a smart meter, their only option is to have a transmitter turned off. That's why I'm saying we have to keep fighting, because these are dangerous. They cause fires. They're expensive. They have a very short lifespan. Despite what hydro says, they only have a 5 to 7 year lifespan. And then we'll be buying brand new meters all over again. They are invasive. And now we learn that they're going to be using our homes illegally. We need to demand that the Clean Energy Act be changed and we be allowed to have an option. And the sad thing is, Jim, when John Horgan was in the minority and he was running for office and he said, if I were Premier, I would allow the BC Utilities Commission to do an independent review of the program. We want an independent review of this program. It's never been reviewed. Hydro's program has never been reviewed by anybody because the oversight by BCUC, the BC Utilities Commission's normal duty is to have oversight of hydro and everything that hydro does. But because this plan was turned down by the BC Utilities Commission in 2008, the government rammed it through anyhow. And in the Clean Energy Act, it says the BC Utilities Commission has absolutely no oversight responsibility. There is no oversight for this program by anybody. And that's why so many crazy things are happening. And that's why hydro continues to lie to people about things. I mean, I've been keeping track of a few of the things that hydro has said over the years and keeps saying that are just not true, to justify this, to scare people. And if there were somebody in control who had oversight, perhaps they would get in here and look at some of these things that hydro is saying to determine, in fact, if there is any reason for us to have a smart meter program. There are no cost savings. That was the big thing. They said they would save all this money. Has anybody seen the rates go down? The only thing that they've saved is that they've laid off all the meter readers. But then they hired IT people to run all the computers, to gather our data. They've got a great big huge building that they, maybe more, but one in the Kelowna area that is just huge to keep all the data that they're gathering. They're not saving any money anywhere. So there are no benefits that we're seeing. Hydro is the only one. And Itron has this contract to put these meters in initially, and we paid more than anybody else that I've been able to find in North America, $555 per meter for the meter and the infrastructure to go with it. And they're going to be replacing these meters every 5 to 7 years. And in 2016, it was in the Vancouver Sun, they replaced 88,000 meters, and it was due, they wouldn't give a reason, but the timeline is about right for meters to be replaced from the 5 to 7 years, and it was about $250 per meter. So the Itron's winning, and Hydro's winning, but we aren't. But to answer, I know I meandered a lot off your initial question, Jim, and I'm sorry, but no, the person who's building a new home has no choice.
Sharon, can people get more information from a website?
Yes, they most certainly can. And the website is www.stopsmartmetersbc.com. And Jim, if I may, one thing. I've been asking people to get involved. Our politicians from Horgan on down and our bureaucrats like the public health minister, the public health officials like Dr. Bonnie Henry, who replaced Perry Kendall, are all ignoring us. They ignored my fire report. They've ignored people who are asking for information about Wi-Fi in schools. They're ignoring people who want to have information about how to protect their families. They work for us. These politicians only come to us when they want our vote or they want donations. Our letters don't work anymore. We need to get out there and do what they've done in Quebec, for instance, what Americans do when they want change. We need to get out there and picket. And starting last Friday, we started picketing in front of John Horgan's constituency office here in Langford on Friday afternoon from 11 till 1. And we're going to do it, and we're going to keep doing it every Friday afternoon until we get some answers. And I'm hoping that people will join us. You don't have to be in his constituency. After all, he's everyone's premier. We need to be out there every Friday from 11 till 1 with our signs, demanding answers, demanding that we get the respect that we expect from those people who we hire. And we hired John Horgan to be our premier.
Sharon, have you tried to get a hold of the public health officer to explain your concerns or express them?
Many times, and so have many other people, Jim. And what is truly remarkable, one person just recently, well, I should say two people just recently, have been trying to get meetings with Dr. Bonnie Henry for the last, 6-8 months. And they keep getting form letters saying she's busy. One person wrote and said, I will go anywhere. I will come at any time to meet with Dr. Bonnie Henry. Can you please arrange a meeting? And the letter came back and said, sorry, she's not available at that time. Yeah, this is the kind of craziness that's going on. This is our public health officer who is there. Her job is to protect us. Her job is to respond to public health concerns. And she's not doing it. I had a letter in my update earlier this week. I'm sorry, I don't have the date, about 3 days ago. A letter from a father who wrote on Facebook about his concerns about vaccinations. He's asked and asked and asked for Bonnie Henry to meet with him, and she refuses. It doesn't matter what the reason is. She won't meet with people. So yes, we need to picket. Picket Bonnie Henry's office. She's on Blanchard here in Victoria. Just like Dr. Perry Kendall. They will not meet with you. They hide up in their office. They take their fabulous salaries. And they do nothing to help us.
Sharon, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you very much, Jim.
My guest has been Sharon Noble, director of the BC Coalition to Stop Smart Meters. Her website, stopsmartmetersbc.com. If you have any questions for Sharon or any of our other guests, you can send them to info@howstreet.com. I'm Jim Goddard. Thanks for listening.
Comments made on the Goddard Report and TalkDigitalNetwork.com are an expression of opinion only. The Goddard Report is available online and mobile at TalkDigitalNetwork.com. The Goddard Report is a production of Howe Street Media Incorporated.